All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining me. This is, I call it a special Sunday night because I just turned 50 a couple of days ago. So if you've taken my class before, which I think everybody on here has, especially during this time when we've been doing classes on Zoom, I tend to talk a lot. So, have some background music on in the back if you wish. But I just want to talk and just share some things that I've learned over my last 50 years. I feel like this is a good opportunity. It's my birthday, so I'm going to indulge in just talking about myself. And those of you guys that I know, Chandler, Lisa, you guys have been to my classes before on my birthday, and sometimes I tell my life story, sometimes I tell other things, but I just have I feel like now that I'm 50, I can spout off on some wisdom, and I've got the street cred for at least. I've got the years at least. So those of you that know me know I'm a pretty happy guy generally, pretty positive. And life has ups and downs, obviously, and we all experience them to varying degrees. So what I'm sharing is meant to help, and it can help hopefully in just about any situation that you're going in, because what I found about the yoga practice is that it works on a subtle level. Subtle meaning it's underneath. You don't even really notice it a lot of the times, but at the end in Shavasana, you might think like, oh yeah, I feel really good. That was really nice. It felt really good. And then sometimes even the next day or a couple days later, maybe something that I said or something that you thought about in the practice comes back to you. And so that's my point even in sharing some of these things. It's just to help. It's just to help. The yoga practice has helped me in tremendous ways. Don't even realize it all the time when I'm like, oh, why am I being extra patient with my kids? It's probably because I was meditating and practicing yoga earlier. So tonight I'll just share some of those thoughts, and we'll go from there. All right. So the thing that's been really beneficial to me the last few years is just this: just sitting in meditation, sitting quietly, and I've been doing it for probably 5 years every morning consistently, and then about I'd say 6 months ago I stopped. For whatever reason, I was like,
yes, we're not watching
out the pressure of having to do it in the morning, and started doing it later in the day whenever I found some time. And I realized a couple weeks ago that I don't always find the time. So I'm back to doing it first thing in the morning. And Chelsea the other day was like, if you get up early with Owen, he usually just wants to play around, so you can get a meditation in. And oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you can sleep in for another hour or so. And so I did that yesterday morning, and it was awesome. I get out, he was doing his thing. I put some fruit down for him to kind of snack on, and I just sat down to meditate. And then here comes Mateo. He's usually been sleeping in a little bit later, but here he comes, and he goes, "Oh, are we meditating?" So he sits down in my lap and said, "Yeah, we are." And this is something that he and I had done for the first probably 2 or 3 years of his life. And we would sit meditation, and then we would Om at the end, which would be about 10 seconds. He could only sit for like 10 or 15 seconds, but then I realized if I started Oming, he would sit for longer. And so he sits down on my lap and just starts going, Om, Om. So we did that together about 7 or 8 times. And then he said this thing that I used to always say to him. He looks up at me, he goes, "Are you ready to share a wonderful day?" I said, yes, buddy, I am. So that's a great way to start the day. So let's just, if you have or if you haven't, let's just do that a little bit tonight. Just sit quietly and breathe. Just tune into the sounds that you hear, all the sounds that you hear, maybe from my backyard, maybe from your home or you're outside, wherever you are. Just close your eyes and tune into all the different sounds. While you're tuning into the sounds, notice your breathing. As you're noticing your breathing, start to deepen it just a little bit. And even if you don't hear very many sounds, just tuning into the silence, listening to the silence. Notice your thoughts as they come and go. It's okay if your thoughts take you off in a direction, but gently bring them back to the sounds that you're hearing, and gently bring them back to your breathing. You notice as you occupy your mind with the focus of your breathing, and as you occupy your mind with the sounds that you hear, it minimizes your internal chatter just a little bit. Wherever you are in your breathing cycle, exhale everything out through your nose or your mouth. And then together, inhale, kind of 1, 2, 3, and then open the mouth and side out. 3, 2. Inhale a little bit deeper. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then side out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, a little deeper. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just a nice normal inhale. A nice natural exhale. Natural inhale. Natural exhale. Beautiful job. Just extend your legs out. A little shake, maybe windshield wiper the feet back and forth. And then take your hands on your kneecaps. Just kind of massage your kneecaps a little bit. And then walk your feet in. And we're going to start off in a forward fold. If you have a blanket, you can sit on the edge of the blanket to give yourself a little bit of extra boost. Sit up nice and tall. You're going to inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, fold forward. Come on down. Wherever you can come is great. Wherever you come down is great. You need to stretch too vigorously here. We're just going to ease into this. Just ease into this. This whole practice is about easing into things. Nice and smooth, nice and relaxed. Relax your shoulders. If you feel like you've got the weight of your world on your shoulders, just relax them. Let it wash off. Let it melt off. snow on a roof that the sun has been shining down on for several hours and warmed up. And then all of a sudden the snow drift just falls off the roof and onto the ground. And allow that burden that you're carrying to just melt off, fall to the ground. And it might take a little while. See if you can relax, and the more that you relax, allow that burden to melt off even more. And then if you are using your muscles to stretch, we're going to relax those. So if you're holding onto your feet or your ankles, just let that go. So the arms come down to the sides, palms face up, and the head and neck fully relaxed. So just like you're slumping over. Breathe deep. Just breathe deep here. In through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. So I was thinking about today, what would I say what would my 50 years of wisdom look like? And the first thing that came to mind is gratitude. And I just feel like gratitude is the fastest way that I found to improve your mood. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling a sense of lack, feeling anything at all that's not lifting you up or uplifting your spirits, find one thing that you're grateful for. And sometimes this can be tough depending on what you're going through. Sometimes it's easy, but it could be something like ripe avocado, sunset, or just the sun shining down on your face, or how a bee pollinates a flower. Anything at all. Think of anything at all. What was the most delicious thing you ate today? Maybe just the fact that you can breathe in fresh, clean air right now, not having to you don't have to wear a face mask to feel it. So just the simplest thought of gratitude then leads to the next, and then this leads to the next. And that's what I've found is when I start to think about what I'm thankful for, and even go so far as to write it down when I've really been struggling. I'll make a list, a gratitude list, and I'll write that every day for a couple of days. And I've never had to go more than a couple of days before I've noticed my mood changing. So usually right off the bat, once you start that gratitude practice or finding things that you're thankful for, it really improves your mood, take you out of the downward spiral that sometimes we get into. That was the first thing. So think of a few things that you're grateful for while we're here, holding forward for a few more breaths. Slowly rise on up. Bring your hands next to your hips with your fingers facing right towards your hips, and just squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then lift your head up and back and let it rest in between your shoulder blades. Open and close your mouth a few times. All right. Bring yourself back to the center. And then walk your feet up. I'm going to lower down onto the back. So, I've taken this gratitude practice so much so far that I'm grateful that I got fired from my job back in December. I'm grateful that I got fired from any other jobs that I've had. I'm grateful for my first divorce. I'm grateful that I lost everything financially about 20 years ago. It's once you practice gratitude and get good at it or just get used to it, you realize how so many things that happened in your life end up turning out the way you want it to them to anyways. times. Not always, but most of the time. Just bring both of your knees over to the right. Left arm out to the left. Little twist. So just hanging out here in a twist. So knees over to the right, left arm out to the left. Nice twist. You know, my dad would always say you can either be grateful or you can complain. You can't do both. He would say thankful. You can either be thankful or you can complain about it. You can't do both. And I kind of find that to be true. You know, but I'll get in the habit of complaining just as I will with gratitude, and it brings me down. And a few years ago, if you were a friend of mine, you heard me complaining about my job. And my dad called me out on it. He said, you know, you tell everybody to be grateful and all this mess, and you sure do seem to be doing a lot of complaining. He's telling him how bad I had it and all this stuff. And I had literally made a list of all of the things that I didn't like about my job at the time. I'd made a list. And what do you do when you make a list of things that you don't like? That's what you see. That's what you notice. You just notice all the things that you don't like. And he was exactly right. So then I made a list of all the things that I did like. And so I started focusing on those. And once I made that list, it completely changed my attitude. And it didn't happen overnight. I won't say that, but it happened over the course of the next couple of weeks. I just noticed small shifts, small changes, like I was saying, subtle energy. It happened on a subtle level. There was that underlying level of gratitude that changed from complaining. It made a huge difference. Just bring your knees back to the center, head back to the center, knees a hug in, rock side to side a little bit. And then lower your knees over to the left, head and arm to the right. And that's kind of how it was when I was at my previous job. I'd been there for 7 years and had ups and downs, times of loving it, times of hating it. And I just was really struggling with it and wanted to find a new job. I just didn't really have the courage to leave something comfortable. And it was a week before Christmas, and I went in, and my boss had a meeting with her boss, and they told me they were letting me go. And even though it was a week before Christmas and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, I was in that mode of gratitude, of being grateful, and so I was grateful about it. And I really haven't had a day of sadness about it since, and especially now. But yeah, you never know why stuff happens. But I noticed that myself. I was like, okay, I was grateful for this. I was finding gratitude in everything, and even when they fired me, I was grateful for it. Kind of awesome. All right, slowly make your way back to the center. Give your knees a hug in. And then let's place both feet flat down on the mat. And find your towel. Or if you're lucky enough to have a strap or a belt, find that. But I'm going to use this little Turkish towel. And just hug your right knee in and place the towel around the bottom of your right foot, like so. And then slide your left leg out. Just hang out here, stretching the hamstring. So if you've been doing a lot of walking during quarantine, like I have, then you'll find this helpful. It's been a nice silver lining for us every morning. One of us teaches yoga at 9:30, and the other one takes the boys out for a walk around the neighborhood. And it's been really awesome. Doing a lot of walking, a lot of exploring, and this time of year has been so awesome. All the flowers are blooming. There's lemons everywhere. There's loquats up on 35th. There's a turtle out. There's owls. So it's been fun. It's been fun to explore the neighborhoods with the boys. It's been fun to walk around and get exercise and be outside, get fresh air. But I noticed it in my legs. I noticed my hamstrings feeling a lot tighter than they had in the past. So if you've been doing walking too, hopefully this is helpful. One other, I guess, piece of advice or wisdom that I have is overdose on water. Drink as much water as you can. And I've shared this before, but a few years ago, it was right after Mateo was born. I was feeling kind of low energy. I hadn't been exercising, and it's when you first have a new person in the house. There's a lot of extra work that goes on. We were just trying to figure everything out, and I just didn't have a lot of time to eat as much as I normally did, and I wasn't exercising, and wasn't obviously getting as much sleep as I had. So I thought, I'm going to change one thing. I'm going to do one thing differently and see if that has an effect. And I started drinking more water. And I was probably just drinking a normal amount of water, but every hour I would make a little note on this board we had that I drank, like a pint glass of water. And it taught me two things. One, I doubt anybody's drinking enough water. Maybe you are, and hopefully you are, but it was a commitment, and it was definitely a practice to drink that much water. But I had so much more energy just from drinking water. And so I've noticed it since then on days where I get, caught up and have a bunch of cups of coffee and don't really drink much water. I'll find myself in the afternoon really low energy. But on most days, I very consistently drink a ton of water, and it gives me a lot more energy. So that is something simple and easy to do that we can all do more of, and just it makes everything better. It lubricates the joints, it makes digestion better. Of course, you have to pee a lot, but small price to pay for feeling a lot more energy. All right, and then lower your leg out to the right. A little inner thigh stretch. Yeah, I was just amazed what a difference just drinking more water had. And then take your leg up and across your body to the other side. And if you can get your leg all the way to the other side, hold on to it with your left hand. Take your right arm out to the right, and you'll have that opposite stretch. You still stretch out the shoulder, right side.
Judy, let's get off soon, okay?
T-band, outer hip.
Julie, let's conclude.
Again, if you do a lot of walking or running, you got to know you're probably still doing a lot of running. So this is helpful. Yeah, I've been amazed, especially with the yoga practice and breathing, how these simple things, breathing and drinking water, it can make the biggest differences in your life. Just taking some deep breaths, whenever I feel I might be losing my patience or getting upset with Teo for not listening or doing something. If I just take a few deep breaths, man, it changes everything. Slowly lift your leg back up. Hug your knee down. Set the towel or the strap off to the side. Just hug your knee in. Circle the foot around so you loosen up the ankle.
Hey, Abe, finish up, brother.
And then take one more deep breath in. Hug the knee in as tight as you can. And then exhale. Let it go. Feel the blood and energy rush down through your right thigh. Feel the difference between the two sides. Again, it's a subtle difference, but the more you become aware of the physical sensations in your body, the more you slow things down and become fully present, the more you notice, the more you see, the more you recognize those subtle differences that are happening. Right. Hug your left knee in. Place the towel around the bottom of your left foot. Send the left leg up into the air. And we'll stretch out the left side. And this next piece of advice or wisdom is something that I really learned the last couple of years working in an office. I worked in an office with about 50 or 60 people. And I'd never done that before. I'd never worked in an office. I'd always been either on my own or with a couple of people, worked for some small companies, some small businesses, but never, I'd worked for large corporations, but never in an office. I was always an outside rep or maybe came into the office every now and then, but this was my first experience being in an office. And you know what I learned? That you should try to become allergic to gossip. Become allergic to gossip. That's what I tried to make myself. Because, man, when I first noticed it, it sure was fun. I thought at least. Sure was fun to jump on that bandwagon and tear somebody down, and then man, I just started feeling yucky. I started feeling gross. I didn't like it. It felt like how when you have an allergic reaction to something, and so but it's so easy. It's so easy to jump on board, it just doesn't help. It's just no good. It just makes you feel worse. Or at least it made me feel worse about everything. Even if the stuff that people are saying is true, it's just not. It's just not good. It just did not feel good. And so I would just try to walk away, or just try to leave the situation and not partake. Even if maybe I had something funny or witty, or I could add on to that, add fuel to the fire, I just really made an effort to not. And the times that I did, I would notice it coming back on me, and then I'd start thinking wait, we're talking about me in the same way we're talking about this person. And so,
Abe, let's be down, buddy.
Make yourself allergic to gossip. And if you do have to gossip, I heard this from somebody one time, and I thought this was brilliant. Positive gossip. So talking good about someone. Oh, hey, did you hear they're really good cook? Or did you hear they're really good, they're great at growing vegetables? Did you hear they're like the strongest person over here? Yeah, I don't know, whatever, but just positive gossip. Just try that out. Next time you hear somebody throwing out some negative barbs, just throw out some positive gossip. probably like good news. Maybe it's not easy as enticing, but it'll definitely make you feel better. And then how cool would it be if that came back? People are making up good things about you. And lower your leg out to the left. Okay, and then bring your leg up. Take it across your body. And if you can do that successfully and hold on with your right hand, maybe taking the left arm out to the left. Breathe. Really feel that in the outer hip. So if there is anybody in your life that you've been, maybe your friends have been, or you have been gossiping about or talking about in a not so good way, see if there's something positive you can think about that person. So even you're just changing your mindset toward that person, because I don't feel like it's good energy to have that, to have negative feelings towards someone. Maybe you guys don't. Maybe you're already past that. It seems like it's a pretty natural human tendency. Somebody in your life that you're not that stoked about. So see if you can think about something that about them that you appreciate, enjoy, maybe a good quality thing. All right, slowly bring your leg back. Draw your knee down, hug it in, set the towel or the strap off to the side, and circle your foot around. Circle the other direction. And then hug your knee in nice and tight. Give it a nice tight squeeze. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Slide the leg out, let it go. Just rest your hands down on your belly. Breathe into your hands. Okay, walk your feet in so your knees are up into the air and your hips are down by your heels. And then take your right ankle just below your left knee. And then draw your left knee in towards you. Slide your right hand to the outside and your left hand to the outside, your right hand to the inside of your leg, and grab the front of your shin or the back of your hamstring and use that to help pull your foot in. So if you flex your right foot, that will protect your knee ligament if you're having any issues there. Yeah, but you should feel this in your outer right hip. Just hugging it in, breathing. Get into the hips a little deeper later on, but for right now, just saying hello to that outer hip. Breathe. Relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your face. Release the foot or release the shin. Let the foot come all the way down. Keep your ankle on your knee, and then rotate over to the left, bringing the right foot down. And maybe you want to press the knee away from you, or just hang out right here and just notice how that feels. And bring both of your knees back to the center. Place your right foot flat down on the mat and take your left ankle just below your right knee. And then draw your right foot in, or right knee in, and slide your arm through. That's the foot. And as you press the knee away from you or pull your right knee in, you'll notice this full stretch in the outer part of your hip. Breathe, relax. Lower your right foot down and then twist over to the right, bringing your left foot down, using your right arm to press against the knee. Pull it in. Just notice where you feel the stretch. Okay. Gently release the foot, hug your knees in, and then let's come into a happy baby. So grab the outside edges of your feet, pull your knees down, just gonna rock side to side. Pause in the center, keeping the feet pulling down, your inner thigh, inner part of the hip. Just breathe. All right. Send both of your legs up, grab behind the legs, and then just let your legs come all the way down. Take a couple breaths here in Shavasana. Relaxing, breathing, being here. And hug your knees into your chest. And roll over to the right side. Make a pillow with your arm. Just gonna hang out here on the side, taking a few breaths. In the fetal position. And bring yourself back up to all fours. And bring the big toes together, knees out to the side. And you're going to sit back on your heels. This is a wide-legged child's pose. So wide-legged child's pose. You can have your either arms out in front of you or making a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead down on your hands. Another lesson I've learned over the years, especially the last few years, is to clear out the clutter. Getting rid of things that you no longer use or no longer need or no longer even like or desire. I used to live in this little place we affectionately called the Surf Shack. It was the size of a garage. It was converted. It was in El Porto. It was a block from the beach. And Chelsea and I lived there together for a few years. I lived there by myself for a few years before that. It really taught me to live a simple life, to clear out stuff. And I noticed that when I would get rid of stuff and clear out the clutter, the stuff that I needed would come in. And so I've been doing this for years. And just even recently, I got rid of a bunch of t-shirts that I didn't particularly need or want or care for. And last week I took out the garbage, and the lady across the street had put out like 6 garbage bags of clothes. Got this cool shirt, got some shorts, even got some shoes. Whoever shoes they were fit me. So I've gotten some good stuff from her garbage before. But my grandma always told me, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So I humbly accept your leftovers. All right, come on up to all fours, and then stretch your left leg out, and then stretch your right leg out, and then come on to all fours, and then just a simple cat-cow. Let's do a few cat and cows. As you melt your heart, lift your head, lift your tailbone, round through the spine the other way, and then arch your back, tucking your chin into your chest. Just going to go back and forth a few times. So this is a universal thing that I've talked to. I was up in San Francisco last week, and my brother was moving. My sister-in-law said, it feels so good to get rid of stuff. And it does. Some stuff's hard to get rid of, but when you get rid of stuff and clear out clutter, everybody that I've talked to that's done this has said the same thing, that it feels really good. It just lightens the load. And what I've noticed is when you clear out the clutter, you get things that you actually need. We got a plant and a footstool from my sister-in-law. She wasn't using, so you never know what you're gonna create space for when you clear out clutter. It just feels good. A couple more. Neutral spine. And let's bring your right knee forward for pigeon pose. So if you don't want to do the pigeon pose, you can come onto your back for thread the eye of the needle like we did earlier. But this is my favorite pose. So I love it. This is a good pose to help clear out the clutter in your hips, pull the weeds, hips, so to speak, metaphorically, just relaxing down, letting go. Breathing. Notice you breathing. Notice where you feel the stretch. You can soften and relax a little bit more. So you can let go. One, just a little bit more. Awesome. Slowly walk your hands in, coming into the upright pigeon. Just hang out here for a couple of breaths. And then step back to all fours, stretching your right leg out. Maybe downward dog, if that feels good. Pedal through the feet a couple of times. Perhaps some hip circles, just whatever is going to give you that relief in your right hip before we move into the second side. Okay. And then whenever you're ready, let's bring the left knee forward for pigeon pose on the second side. So, my wisdom, I'm only 50, so, nothing's earth shattering, nothing's that groundbreaking. Drink more water, be grateful, clear out the clutter. I mean, many of you have probably already figured out this stuff earlier, but I just wanted to bring light to it because I think there's some things that I've noticed, what works for me and what's worked for me over the years, and these are a lot of the things. And another thing that really I've noticed and that's worked is that abundance, and that abundance is a mindset. Whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's love, whatever it is, when you notice the abundance that's all around, that's what you notice. When you notice lack, that's what you notice too. And I know that the movie The Secret talked about this years ago, and I started noticing it then. But I recently did this 21-day abundance meditation, and I just noticed more beauty. I just noticed more love. I noticed more kindness. Even during this time, I've just tried to focus on the abundance of everything, and it really makes a lot of difference. You notice the abundance that's out there, because it is. There's so much out there. We have so much. We have so much to be grateful for. We have so many things. The fact that we can practice yoga from all over the world at the same time, the same platform is kind of amazing. So I get caught up all the time in I don't have enough time for this, or we don't have enough money for that. And I've really tried to change my mindset. Whenever I notice myself and catch myself in that mindset, no, there's plenty of time, there's an abundance of time. Abundance of peace, abundance of love. I really found that, because time is a big thing for me. I want to have an abundance of time. I've just really cherishing this time with my boys being so young, and I've noticed that when I'm in the moment, I do have an abundance of time. If I'm thinking about, later, or tomorrow, or next week, or next year, or where are we going to live, or what are we going to do, what's going to happen, am I going to get a job, whatever, all of these things, then I get caught up and I get wrapped up, and it's not as fun. And when I am fully in the moment and enjoying today, right now, this moment, time is endless. Walk your hands up into the upright pigeon. really only have today. Swing your legs around. I'm not promised anything more. We have right here, right now. Got this. For all it's worth. Okay, let's do another forward fold just because we've done a little bit of stretching and slowing things down. So we'll do that same thing that we started with. Reach your arms up and then exhale, fold forward. See if you notice any difference. Only going to be here for a couple of breaths. We're just noticing if there's any difference. And then slowly rise on up. Take the soles of your feet together. And then here I like to do a little foot massage. So take your thumbs into the arches of your feet. Give the arches of your feet a little massage. All the way up to the ball of the foot. Circle that around. Your big toes. Go on each individual toe. Pulling the toes out. And work your way back down. Right. Okay. There we go. And then let's pause. Bring your hands to your ankles. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. And then extend your chin and chest forward. Walk your hands out. And again, turn the palms up so you're fully relaxed. Allow the weight of the head and the upper body to slowly stretch you out. Just relax here and let go. Couple more breaths. Slowly rise on up. And if you'd like to keep your feet together like this, just lower onto your back. And just keep the same butterfly position with your feet and the knees out to the side. And then make that same position with your arms. So your hands are over your head in a diamond shape with the right hand in the left palm. Fully open here, opening up your heart, opening up your hips, breathing deep. And I'll finish my words of wisdom, quote unquote, with the quote from my dad that I heard. I mean, the first time I heard it was the same day I got fired and divorced about 13 years ago, and I called up his voicemail. He'd always leave these quotes on there, and you know, he said, "The best way to help yourself is to help somebody else." And at the time, I was not wanting to hear that because I just thought, I need help. I'm in debt. I just lost my job. I just lost my relationship. I'm living in this little shack. My life sucks right now. That's what I thought. And he said, and that was his quote, the best way to help yourself is to help somebody else. So I thought about that day, and I've thought about that every day since. And it's true because, I would do the little things that I could. I'd help people. I'd go over to their house and I'd do their dishes, or I'd help somebody move, or I'd give somebody a ride to the airport, or I'd listen to a friend who needed to tell me something, or who needed to get something off their chest. I'd go to Ecuador and help, I went on a healthcare volunteer vacation there. I went to Mexico on a volunteer vacation. And every time I either donated something or gave away something or helped somebody else, every single time I felt better. Every single time I felt better than I thought. I mean, most of the time I'm thinking, like, oh, I'm going to go help somebody. And I end up helping myself. I ended up feeling better. I'd help people move, and they'd give me the things that they didn't want anymore that I wanted that fit in my house. So, I'd help somebody through a tough time by just listening or giving a little advice. And then whenever I would need it, I would have that same thing come back to me. It's just truly, I feel like that's a law, is when you do something for somebody else, you end up getting help more. So, yeah, that hit home to me. Best way to help yourself is to help somebody else. Because it takes the focus off of you and whatever problems that you're having, and you're able to see things from a different perspective, maybe. I don't know how it works, but it does. All right, slide your right leg out, slide your left leg out. Thanks for listening, everyone. Let's have a nice Shavasana. Bring your arms down by your side, by your sides. Just lay back, relax, let yourself go. Feel your whole body. Lie back. Fully relax. Letting yourself go. Relax your feet and toes. The feet just kind of flop out to the side. Feeling your heels heavy into the ground, into the mat, into the earth. Feel your lower legs touching the ground, touching the earth. Fully relaxed. Feel the back of your knee, the front of your knees, both relaxed. Feel your upper legs heavy into the floor. Feel your pelvis and buttocks resting on the earth. Your torso, your stomach, your chest, your rib cage, just fully relaxed, melting into the floor. Feel your shoulders and arms relax. Your elbows and lower arms relax. the wrists, the back of the hands and the fingers open and relaxed. Feel the back of your head heavy, relaxed. Your forehead soften, cheekbones relax, your jaw slack. Relax your ears, the root of your tongue, your neck. Feel your whole body fully relaxed. Where you are, start to deepen your breath. As you return your attention back into your physical body, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms over your head, stretching out again. And as you exhale, drawing your knees into your chest, make your way over to the left side. The left side. The left side is the yin side, it's the feminine side, it's the relaxing side. Just make your way over to the left and just pause. Taking your time, as always, make your way up to a seated position. The eyes closed, hands resting down on your knees or thighs. So notice how you feel right here in this moment. Breathing into this moment, feeling that abundance of time. Feeling an abundance of peace. Feeling an abundance of health. Feeling an abundance of love. Understanding that the more that you can share your abundance of love with others, the more it will come back to you. Same way that giving to others gives to you. Found the same thing with love. The more love you have for others, the more it comes back to you. Hands together at your heart. Bow your head towards your hands, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for all of your many blessings. A deep breath of fresh air in. Exhale, let it go. A beautiful night, an amazing rest of everything. Namaste.